Hello everyone, it's Gigabeef here, and today I'll be showing you why the 45 Vector is the best full auto leg meta weapon in Tarkov, achieving a 4-hit kill with the right ammo. Before we begin, today's video is sponsored by Outplayed, a fantastic video capture app that lets you easily record your raids, which I'm always saying is an incredibly insightful tool for improving your game, and doubly so with your deaths. Outplayed supports 300 games, but for Tarkov specifically, it records each raid automatically as a separate video file, cutting out the stash organisation in between and saving you hard drive space, as well as giving you the option to bookmark sections while in raid as you go with a hotkey, such as after a really big fight so you don't have to hunt around the recording for it later on. Afterwards, you can use the inbuilt video editor to cut just the part that you want and share it directly to Discord, Twitter, YouTube or Reddit from within the app itself to show your friends or the wider world. Do check it out, the link for the app is down in the description and the pinned comment. As one of the fastest firing guns in the game with 1100 RPM, joint second with the MP9N, the differentiating factor for the Vector is its range of ammunition, which allows it to be used either for regular centre of mass shooting or leg shredding. The Vector itself is accessible on the flea market, usually at around 80 to 90k rubles, or on Skier 2 after completing Friend from the West Part 2 for 89k. Compared to the 9mm version on Skier 4 at 97,000, this is accessible much earlier from a progression perspective, but with both on the flea, it's not as significant as it could be. Other than the differences in ammo, which are very important, these weapons are almost identical, although the 9mm version has a lower rate of fire of 950 rounds per minute, but it does allow you to use the 50-round drum magazines, which is a major benefit. This is the trade-off that you get for settling with the costly and lower performing 9mm ammunition rather than the powerful and easier to access 45 cartridges. One of the great benefits of the Vector is that you don't need to mod the weapon that much. Although an 80 to 90k starting price is middle upper ground for a base weapon cost, it comes out of the box very usable, which is unusual for many guns in Tarkov and significantly decreases the overall cost of using it. For comparison purposes, the lowest recoil that we can get the 45 Vector to is 24, which is obviously super low, but given the stock version comes at 36, it's kinda pointless to spend this much money on it. To get there, you need to change from the standard 5-inch barrel to the 6-inch, add the suppressor, use an RK2 foregrip, and then swap out the whole stock section for a Vector non-folding stock adapter, the advanced tube, and a PRS Gen 3 stock. Realistically, because the base stats are so high, usually you'll just keep the original stock instead. Then it's important to decide if you want to use a suppressor or not. I have typically played without one, as it's quite an in-your-face gun, so stealth is of limited value anyway, and if you do decide to go loud, you can attach the Vector flash hider from Skier 3 that only costs 1,500 rubles. With this route, you don't really need a foregrip, but it feels odd not to use one, so picking something cheap like the RVG or the Knight's Vertical for just more ergonomics will do the trick. This is a little bit more important if you do decide to go suppressed, as you'll drop 19 ergonomics by adding the Silencer Co Omega mount from Mechanic 2 and the Omega 45k suppressor, also from Mechanic 2 or the Flea. Do be aware that if you go suppressed, you will shred the durability of the gun much faster than without it, as it has both an increased heating element of plus 13% as well as a 70% increased durability burn, and this weapon heats up super fast as it shoots so quickly. Something that I considered, which is a little bit unorthodox, is to replace the stock with the Troy or the Viper PDW stocks, which gives you some of the highest ergo gain in the game, trading recoil for it. But because the Vector has very high ergo anyway, and these stocks tend to add extra weight as well, there was no increase in ADS speed, even suppressed, when going from 53 ergo to 65. Even more of a case for just leaving the default stock on there. The final part for the 45 Vector before tactical devices and optics are the magazines. This is the weakest part of the weapon's loadout, as you can only choose between the 13-round Glock mags or the 30-round Chris mag. Clearly the 30s are the way to go, as it's an incredibly hungry gun for ammunition, and even a 30-rounder will be cleared out in record time, 1.6 seconds to be precise, but you will need Mechanic 3 to buy them cheaply. Skier 2 does have a barter, but this can be anywhere from 25k to 45k per mag, depending on the flea, so it's not really recommended. Also, the fire rate here starts to border on being a problem rather than a help, as although the time to kill is extremely low, it's very unforgiving when you either don't kill with your first magazine or when facing squads, but it can be incredible if you manage to get yourself a series of 1v1 fights. Adding a laser or flashlight and an optic of your choice, and this will come to around 53 ergonomics with 30 recoil suppressed and 72 ergonomics and 31 recoil unsuppressed. Now, although these stats look amazing on paper, the elephant in the room here is that the horizontal recoil inherently within the Vector is super high. This makes it feel much less controllable than the recoil stats themselves would lead you to believe, and really secures it as a close quarters weapon, but don't discount it yet, as we can work with it via the ammo. 45 ACP is an interesting caliber because unlike its 9mm cousin, it has incredible damage across all of its cartridges, the absolute lowest being 70 for 45 armor piercing. This is the typical round used as it's only Peacekeeper 3 and with 38 penetration is adequate enough given the rate of fire, in broadly the same territory as M856A1 for 5.56 and the top rounds for the P90 and the MP7. It is expensive though at $7.50 each. The 70 damage is really decent for a bullet with its penetration, blacking out legs and arms in one shot, easily dealing with class 4 armor and getting through class 5 eventually, so is really nasty to fight against. The cartridge that is incredible for the Vector though is at the other end of the spectrum, which is 45 RIP. This guy has 137 damage, which is one of the single highest in the entire game for a full auto weapon, only beaten by the Ash 12's flesh round of PS12A on outright damage of 164. But with nearly twice the fire rate and relatively low recoil, this makes the RIP Vector's 4 shots to kill much more feasible than the Ash's 3 and deletes players irrespective of their equipment in an extremely short time. Relative to much of the other ammo in Tarkov, at 391 rubles, it's actually very cost effective, but given 45 RIP is only accessible from Mechanic 4 and is banned from the fleet, there isn't any other way to get it until you have the progression. That leaves you limited to Hydra Shock and a 5-shot kill from Peacekeeper 3 for $1.20 a round, but as you can only buy 145 RIP rounds at a time, it's often a good idea to stack these 50-50 in your magazines anyway so that you don't run out too quickly. Technically speaking, you could load these alternately and still achieve a 4-shot kill most of the time because 3 RIP shots is nearly a kill at 411 damage, but as this is very painstaking, I recommend loading 15 Hydra Shocks at the bottom and 15 RIPs at the top. As always with leg meta, you do have to commit to the playstyle and use a close quarters approach, but interestingly, the Vector's horizontal recoil doesn't actually feel that bad at all when using it in this way, and it almost helps you to get a good distribution of rounds across your opponent, at least that's how it felt to me. Finally, let's go and look at it in action across a few raids. One note on this first one is that I was playing during the 100% damage increase event, so this was now a 2-shot kill rather than 4. Sounds like someone's super hurt. There's one. Did he fall off? He's got a friend. God. I'm in like the perfect position for leg matter. Like actually perfect. Seems like a 4-man. Or 5, I'm not sure. That guy sounded like he was above me still. They should use more nades. That would have given me something really to worry about. Okay, well I haven't heard anybody now. But he's probably still there. What's the likelihood that he's still there? Very high. Because it's difficult for me to, like... Because I probably can get around here. There's still another guy. M855. So many people use M855. So that's that dude. Let's see. So if we just like drop this. I mean, maybe he bailed? Don't trust it. This would be where, can you imagine if you could drag bodies now? It'd be sick if you could drag bodies, right? Yeah. Drop this here. Take this. Okay. Right. Who's next? This dude, level 17. So. Right. We've got a bunch of gear. So, it's a rat rig of some kind. That's not worth it. This M4... You are probably best off taking that off. That one is low value. Whereas this M4 is kind of... Like, the actual gun is garbage. Take this. Get rid of the actual gun. That means we can take this. We can put this back on, actually. And we can fold that down into here. Put that in there. This down like this. Honestly, we can even put that in there as well. Yeah, that's everything out of that one. Oh, yeah, and then we have this ULAG. So we can put that in here for the Gazelle. Can we even take that? I'm not sure we've got big enough... Yeah, we don't have enough storage space to take it, sadly. So, where do we need to go? We'll just leave, I think. Emacom. Okay. Perhaps. Don't overthink it. That man was not geared. But he was also not inside the mall, so god damn it, that doesn't count for my quest. This gun is not for saving money on ammo, that's for sure. Okay, well there's the ramp. The ramp always scares me a bit, if I'm honest. The fact that I took a big break means that I probably won't end up getting Kappa. Gosh. I'm pretty sure that was just a scav shooting me from behind. There's somebody in this bit. I don't know where though. Where was he? Down there? How do you get in there? How'd you even get in there? I don't even know how you get it. I don't even know how you sneak yourself in there. Do you have to go on the other side? Can you get in through there? Now that was a scav, I'm certain. Okay. No, just another scav, it's alright. Here we go. This looks kind of weird. Oh, it's funny that he was in that little hole. What event's going on now? It's still the one where when you basically you just take like about a bunch of damage. Like 100% more damage. It's 100% minus your immunity's worth of extra damage. And Ash as well. Okay, look, we're not doing too badly here. This is alright. Okay, so where do we actually need to go? Emacom. Alright. We're kind of that way anyway. We'll go Emacom then. Hi, Giga Beef. I don't like the fact that max immunity removes the debuff entirely. I wonder if it removes it most of the time, but not all the time. Because max immunity, it's like it has a chance to not have status effects work on you. I'm only like level 12. I mean, no, I'm only level 8. It's because it doesn't level doing regular stuff. Morphine doesn't give you it. Propofol doesn't give it to you. You don't get it from Golden Star. You don't get it from Vaseline. You only get it from like random stims and well, basically any stim with a negative stat debuff over time, or like random food and drink. Next, go and check out my video on how to tighten shotgun pellet spreads. Otherwise, as usual, a big shout out to all my patrons. Hit all the buttons if you enjoyed the video, and as always, have fun in your raids.